What would you like to see happen with India-US relations? Let us know in the comments.
A dance-off.
I got a Daisy feeling. I got a Daisy feeling. Yeah.
Welcome, folks. I'm Jaby KOAY, joined by STEPH.
Hello.
What up, brah?
What up?
We're looking at what Indians think of the U.S. by Asian Boss. Thank you, Asian Boss, for allowing us to react to this. Very, very much appreciate it. Y'all, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications, and pretty please vote this up. Let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching while you're subscribing and upvoting. Of course, subscribe to Asian Boss. Let them know that you like their stuff, too, by giving the original video an upvote. There's a link in the description below. And, yeah, let them know Jaby sent you if you could be so kind. Here we go. Asian Boss. What Indians think of the U.S. What do you think Indians think of the U.S., SABRAW?
That we're really into Hollywood.
That were awesome.
That we have the beach, sands.
They got a
we
beach?
say like.
They got a beach or two. Oh, they always say like. Yeah, we say like for sure.
We
Spend more per capita than anybody else in the world.
right, big consumers.
They're all fat and got guns.
Yeah,
You know?
fat.
Yeah.
For sure. Those are the top tiers.
Here we go.
Hey everybody, it's Monique from Asian Boss. America has been recognized as a leading global superpower for decades.
Until
But
now.
more nuanced global perspectives on America often go unnoticed. Given that US President Donald Trump has spoken very highly of Indian Prime Minister Modi, we thought it'd be interesting to hear what everyday Indians think about Trump and about America in general. So let's turn it over to our Asian Boss reporter in New Delhi to hear what people have to say.
What is your current impression of the United States?
The first word that pops out is definitely Trump and a not so free country and really racist.
The first
Yeah.
thing is Donald Trump.
Really
And
racist.
second thing is America.
Are we really racist over
Yeah,
here?
we're really bad.
I mean, it depends where you're at. If you're in this studio, not racist at all.
But as a nation, insidiously,
It just depends where you're at.
Yeah, coastally is pretty good.
Austin, Texas is nice. I have not been treated any better by white people than in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, they're nice white.
So those are nice whiteys.
like a superpower. America's hegemony in the world.
I think the United States does a really good job at giving their citizens freedom. It's good, but it creates a very volatile culture.
Actually, it's a good country to visit, and as well as for future, like people of India, we can go there and have a better life.
And moreover, it's like a culturally globalized country. Everybody wants to go and settle in America. So yeah.
In general, what's your impression of Americans?
You know, वो पसंद करते हैं अपनी लाइफ में कुछ भी करना. Means they don't do like things कि हमें नहीं करना है. वो ज़्यादा सोचते नहीं हैं. They live their life.
I feel like it depends, because that's an interesting generalization that's how America is seen. But I feel like so many of us get trapped in the idea of that. Very few of us actually live that life. We're gonna go do what we want. You know what I mean? I feel like most of us end up becoming like doing what our dad did. You know, if you're in the middle of America, you probably end up like as a tire salesman or something like that.
Yeah.
Because your pops did that, or a coal miner or something. You know?
Yeah.
Very few of us break out of that mold. That's what October Sky was about, is trying to break out of that mold that you've been living for generations.
Yeah, we have the idea here, but it's not often applied.
Exactly.
Americans as a bit of the show-off people. They have their own word and they are very proudy and they think that there's no one above them.
I don't know, man. I feel like every one of these can be taken apart. I don't think a lot of Americans think that.
Like, because if you just look statistically at any important factor, like mortality rate of children and women giving birth, we're pretty low. So it's like, you can't really think we are the greatest, but there are people who are very nationalistic here.
Yeah. Patriotic.
Yeah.
I feel like you can talk to so many people, especially in places like Los Angeles, who are like, this is wrong with America, this is wrong with America, this is wrong with America. At the very end, they go, but it's great, you know. I mean, I wouldn't want to live anywhere else, but man. You know what I mean?
That's so
it's always this qualifier.
Yeah.
Some people, they get really racist against Indians. Take the Shah Rukh Khan case into consideration. Like every time he goes to visit America, the policemen always stop him just because he's a Muslim. So I think the racism is a big problem in America.
Like they are more open to, talking to different kind of people and, from other races and countries. But like the white minority, it's that minority is a little orthodox in their thinking. They feel as if, all the Indians or the other people, they're taking away their jobs and everything.
The jobs are being taken away, but that's because of the powers that be, they're not making sure our school system is good enough that we have smart kids that we're raising. We're raising a bunch of stupids. And so what happens is we keep borrowing geniuses from overseas, like India and China and wherever, because of the Genius Grant, which Trump got rid of, which is a massively stupid move because we depend on that. We depend on importing smart people. That's why we have huge companies like Apple and Microsoft. Like Microsoft is run by an Indian. Eventually Apple will be too. And eventually when Joe Biden, can't talk anymore, an Indian's going to be running the country as well.
But it's an interesting point that not all white people, but there is a definite difference between white Americans they're talking about and the rest of us who have family, like I'm from immigrants, and a lot of us, like people of color, are from immigrants. So we're like, yeah, come on. Yeah. Come on in. Like, we like it. The more the merrier.
Yeah. A white person was supposed to have Steph's job, but she took it first.
Yeah.
No, but like when they say immigrants are taking our jobs away, there's two sides to it, because there's also the jobs that nobody wants. Like your gardener or whatever. Like oftentimes it's being taken by someone who wants that work because they need the money. Finding white people picking oranges. You ever heard coyotes? It's crazy. Like the speed at which these Mexicans who cross the border, the speed at which they're able to work at picking fruit and whatnot. Americans don't want to do that shit. Those jobs are given to people who are willing to take that work, and then Americans have the audacity to complain and say they're taking our jobs away. It's like, you're stupid.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Really? Do I have to tell it to you? Do I?
Oh, is that her accent?
The way their jobs and everything.
What does American accent sound like to you?
Really? Do I have to tell it to you? Do I?
Let me tell you something about the American accent, okay? It's very different, but the English accent is quite classier.
British is better.
Why do you think British accent is better?
I know it's not.
It's comparatively easily to understand.
It's easier to understand because Indian English is British English in its roots.
Yeah.
That's why it's easier to understand. That's number one. Number two, I think the accent's way overrated. You ever tried doing it? It sucks. American accent is way cooler. If you're around it as much as I am, you get over it real fast.
Oh my gosh. No, I never get over Chara's accent, first of all. But it is a superior accent. Like, it just really is.
I think it's so snobby.
We are monotone, one note people.
Okay, let me ask you something. No, we're not. If the American accent is so much worse compared to the English British accent, why does everyone keep trying to borrow black culture?
Because that's about culture.
But it's in the way we speak as well.
That's in the way they speak. But like, if you listen to some British people have the best slogans and one-liners. You don't think that?
Not at all. No, because everyone keeps borrowing from black culture. If you look at all of our advertisements on billboards, none of it's British. It's all black.
Yeah, in America. But I'm talking about...
I think if you go overseas, you'll probably see something similar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I don't know that for sure, because it's like, do you watch Gully Boy?
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, you'd love Gully Boy.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's heavily inspired by black culture. Black don't crack, baby. British people do.
I'm just saying the accent.
I'm a fan of a British accent. Like,
yeah.
It sounds more classy.
There are a lot of accents I would prefer over their way of speaking the language. Do you get the impression that the US is welcoming towards visitors and immigrants?
Yes, quite frankly, they have been good to visitors in spite of that 9/11 issue. After that, there have been security issues with them, but that is okay. It's their country. They have every right to do so.
It really depends on where you are. A lot of my friends, they've gone to the US, and some of them, they don't face difficulties at all, while others, they're facing racism on a day-to-day basis. A friend of mine, he was in Wake Forest, and he faced racism.
I don't even know what Wake Forest is. Do you?
In Washington.
They'd make fun of him. They'd tell him he smells of curry and stuff.
My younger brother also has had certain instances in school where being an Indian, he's not exactly faced racism that would scar him. But yeah, there have been instances of very mild racism, but it's racism nonetheless. Racism is racism.
That's basically because the white minority has that kind of superiority complex inside them. So we're like an inferior class according to them.
So this thing about the smells is interesting, because I just came back from Spain. Everywhere I went, I could smell perfume, and I couldn't quite wrap my head around that. And I realized that some places just have a fixation on smells. Like Americans have a fixation on how things smell. We have things that we put in our home to make it smell nicer, Febreze stuff or whatever. It's little plug-in things. We're obsessed with it. And we're obsessed with masking smell, and perfume is a method of doing that. And I realized the reason why so many people might be wearing perfume there is because there's a lot of smokers in Spain. But like, they know their perfume, because like sometimes, I travel around or whatever, and I get in an elevator, I'm like, there was a hot girl in here. I'm just like, my brain puts that in there because it smells so good. And that feeling I had of there was a hot girl in the elevator a minute ago. That's how I felt everywhere in Spain, because everyone knows their perfumes really, really well. I did not have that experience in India. If it's a thing, I didn't pick up on it at all while I was traveling there. Like it wasn't something that I registered whatsoever. And so depending on your culture and your family, you might smell more like your food. Like if you're Korean, you might smell more like your food, like that your parents cook at home. That's something I experienced in high school. I'm not saying all Koreans. That is something that's a possibility.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. I just think it's most used in the sense that, oh, you're Indian, therefore curry, you smell like curry.
Well, yeah, that's racist.
Yeah.
But I mean, you might have a smell if that's what you're eating at home all the time.
Yeah.
It's one thing to acknowledge it. It's another thing to use it as a means as like a derogatory thing.
Right.
I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with like noticing it. I don't know. Am I digging myself a hole here? I'm just trying to like open up a difficult conversation.
What was the latest news that you saw from America?
So gun effect.
Yeah.
There's been gun riots going on in US, killing of students in schools and illegal hittings everywhere.
It's quite scary, but I think we have terrorist attacks in India and there is mass shooting in America, and both are equal, I think.
Being the most powerful nation in the world, I think that is not everyone expects from that country.
Heartbreaking, actually.
Exactly. It's disappointing from a country like that to hear such news.
Most of the mass shootings have been done by the white teenagers, basically.
Sad.
It's not the other
I think there's something about their bringing up over there, the way, they are accustomed in their heads, like, they are the superior people.
Can you imagine all these mass shootings happening in India?
If by any chance our laws were a little less, stringent than this, there would have been like mass killings every other day. I think we would have surpassed the US in these kind of killings. The kind of people, the kind of mentality we have there, the kind of cultural and religious riots we have every second day.
I love the friend on the right.
Yes, queen.
Yeah.
She actually has a pretty good grip about like the bad part of white culture and the upbringing of these younger white men who are like becoming like super violent.
There was a mass shooting the other day, like at a number of dance clubs, Asian dance clubs in Alhambra. Did you hear about this? Mm-hmm. When you first heard about it, what did you think the shooter was?
Of course, white.
Yeah. Did you know what he was?
Yes.
He was what?
Asian.
He was an old Asian guy, 75 years old. I was like,
it was
hold on.
shocking.
I was like, my brain immediately went to racist white guy because of what happens in the news. Apparently, I don't know if this is accurate. These events happened a while ago. So let's just say that so that we could put this on YouTube and it's not a big deal. If it happened a while ago, it's okay. Remember the one that happened in the, I think it was the Orlando club?
Yeah.
Apparently, that wasn't aimed at gay people. That guy was just looking for a club to shoot. The way the optics look, it looks like he was being homophobic. Or
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was shocked he wasn't white.
I feel like one person getting killed by guns is one too many, personally. Like, I hate it. I feel like the news really shoves it in our face to make it look like it's happening all the time. So if I were to ask you, how many black people were killed last year by gun violence?
I don't know. A couple hundred.
That's actually really accurate because most people guess in the thousands. That's actually supremely accurate. It's like 200 something. But the way the news paints it seems like it's like thousands and thousands of people because it's constantly in your face,
Yeah, the news cycle is trash.
Donald Trump as a politician, I don't know much. But उसकी पर्सनल लाइफ को इतना दिखाया जाता है मीडिया में कि वो आज some prostitutes उसके against you करती हैं then तो
I don't like him at all. I don't. Yeah, he's like really racist. And I don't like his sexist comments either.
Look at his, speeches and the way he talks to women specifically. He treats women like commodities, like, an accessory to his power or something.
He's the United States Modi ji.
Oh, wow.
I think
wow. No, he's not. Does Modi ji ever say anything like grab him by the, No, he doesn't say that. He will say Dolan Trump.
Do means two, Lund means dick.
Oh. He's calling him two.
Mr. Donald Trump.
Anything controversial about him is not like what was described a few moments ago.
I mean, what Trump has completely dismantled our set of decorum in a way that
That's
America
true.
highly values. Like, we used to highly value decorum in class and like the way you spoke in congressional hearings, and now that's like he single-handedly annihilated it because his rapport was so disgusting.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right.
Donald Trump has actually spoken very highly of our Prime Minister Modi and the US-India relationship. Why do you think Trump has spoken so highly of him?
And they have this perception of Indians that we're not even like threatening. So maybe like he's got this good positive reaction towards Indians.
It's because they have the same political ideology.
What sort of relationship would you like to see between India and America?
I would like to see a good relationship because like they're like this powerhouse. No one wants to mess with. You take an example of a bully. Like you want to be, even though it's a bad thing, but you want to be in his good side. So you're not the target. Yeah.
If Trump has said something good about us, they probably had some underlying benefit in that.
Yeah, that's what.
But anyway, like India is a growing economy.
Yeah.
We offer a lot of opportunities, and CEO of Google is an Indian. Like, we are like literally, taking those kind of companies forward.
Nobody can deny the fact that Indians are the people who are going everywhere. I mean, aren't Americans mostly pissed at Indians because we go over there and take all their jobs?
Exactly. So if you don't speak highly of us and if you don't literally give us the undue credit,
they do.
I think the US is going to come down. There's going to be a downfall in the US. It's become a superpower, and a huge and big round of applause goes to us.
Yeah.
There you have it, everybody. For the record, it took our reporter in New Delhi 5 hours to get 11 people to interview with us. So special thanks to our reporter and all our interviewees for sharing their honest opinions. What would you like to see happen with India-US relations? Let us know in the comments.
A dance-off.
5 hours for 11 people.
Like that scene in RRR where the white people are trying to keep up with the Indians and their ankle blows out.
That's amazing.
I can't keep up.
That is a good metaphor.
I thought there was some poignant responses in this interview. I thought it was actually pretty cool. It's intriguing, to say the least, to see what is accurate, at least from my perspective and my humble, dumb opinion, what's accurate and what is completely just an idea or generalization. A broad generalization of Americans that is, for the most part, patently false. It's like we get this image overseas, and I think it doesn't apply to most Americans.
I think it was interesting that it exposes a few things, mainly that Indians have, and a lot of the world has, a way better and larger grasp on other countries and their disposition and various things going on in those countries, rather than Americans. We often don't know shit about other countries unless you are specifically interested in world affairs. I also think that it's interesting that she points out that this reporter took 5 hours to find 11 people to speak. So that kind of shows that people are either a little bit more timid there or only want to speak when they know about a subject. Conversely, if you go to the States and you ask the first 11 people, I would bet 9 out of those 11 people, even if they didn't know anything about India, would take the interview.
Yeah, that's a very astute observation. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's actually a really astute observation. I like that. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out. I really appreciate y'all being here. Subscribe, bell icon, all notifications, vote this up. I'm Jaby KOAY. This is
STEPH. SABRAW.
Peace out.